hello, my beautiful YouTube family. Welcome back to the L learning portion of T.E.L.L. Joanne. I am your girl, Joanne. Hello, my amazing, amazing family. Thank you guys so much for being part of this learning journey with me as I listen to the story behind the song. I truly, truly appreciate all the comments that you guys have been giving me. Definitely keep them coming. But before we start, you guys already know what we're about to do if you are part of the family, aka you're ready to subscribe. But if you're new to the channel, this is when I say hello, hello, hello. Now, put me on pause or get yourself a beverage of choice. Hit that subscribe button so that you can become part of this absolutely incredible community. And on the count of three, we'll do our chair. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's go. First time reaction to story behind the song, He Stopped Loving Her Today. So guys, I have recently been introduced to George Jones. So if you are part of membership, then you have already seen my reaction to this video. But if this is coming out on YouTube and you're not part of membership, I don't know when I have scheduled the video to come out, but most likely it may come out after this video comes out. I'm trying to fix that up. So anyway, I recently have heard him and I've heard him sing this song and I just absolutely loved it. I loved it. I loved his voice. I love his storytelling type of music. And then for me, at the end, I realized that the song is, he's saying that this person that he loved, he stopped loving her today because she passed away. At least that is my interpretation of it. So when I saw the title, I'm like, okay, wonderful, because now I get to hear a little bit more of the song and I get to see if my interpretation of the song is accurate. So because the song is not out to YouTube public yet, I haven't had you guys amazing insight on telling me, Joanne, if I was right or wrong. So I guess I'll find out right now. Okay, so without further talking, let's hear the story behind the song, He Stopped Loving Her Today.
We're with one of the greatest songwriters in any genre of music in the history of songs. I welcome the legendary Bobby Braddock. You get
Hello,
to town,
Bobby. I don't know you yet.
You get a publisher, you meet some of the legendary writers of all time, and then this run begins. You're maybe the only songwriter I know of with number ones in 5 decades. You're in the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. You're in the Country Music Hall of Fame, and I could give the accolades that would take the rest of the day. You get a compliment from me right here because music changes, and you changed with it. You wrote the first big country rap hit, right?
I want to talk about that. And I thought it would be the only one, but then 10 years later it comes Dirt Road Anthem, which I love, and then the Jason Aldean.
Wait, what is the song he just said? Did he say, you want to talk about me? You want to talk about them? Is that the song that he's talking about? He wrote it? Guys, comment below. I'm getting excited, but I might be wrong. Let me go back a little bit in here.
And you changed with it. You wrote the first big country rap hit, right?
I want to talk about that.
Yeah, that's what he said. Wow.
I thought it would be the only one, but then 10 years later it comes Dirt Road Anthem, which I love, and then the Jason Aldean thing, 1994, which I really love.
This is stories behind the song. I want to focus on a couple of them. The first is, I've heard it thousands of times, and every time I hear it, it just takes me into the place where music's supposed to take you. He Stopped Loving Her Today. From the first thought through George cutting it, just tell us the story behind that song. Your co-writer, everything.
Well,
before he starts, I want to say I love the fact that he says it takes me to where music is supposed to take us, right? And I feel like that's it is. Music is supposed to take you to that place, and wherever that place is, and that place is of emotion, is of inspiration. Like, it is of a place that it brings about a feeling. And I feel like that whatever that feeling is, good feeling, bad feeling, angry feeling, whatever it is, I feel like good music is supposed to bring back a feeling. I feel like if you hear music and you don't feel anything, I think they're missing something. They're missing something. You know what I mean? Comment below if you agree with me or you completely disagree. All right, let me just go back and then hear
story behind that song. Your co-writer, everything.
Well, the song was around a long time before it's recorded, Curly Putman and I got together, and he says that I brought the idea to him, and we had a couple of sessions, writing sessions before it was completed, but then it wasn't really completed. We just thought it was, and it was like in the late 70s. It was not recorded till 1980, and Billy Sherrill asked us to add. That's George Jones' producer. Billy Sherrill asked us to add a verse about the protagonist's wife or girlfriend coming back to his funeral. And we had already written that and discarded it. Billy didn't like that, and we wrote 3 or 4 versions of it, got one that he liked. And I remember us going back and forth in the snow to Billy Sherrill's office, taking the different versions. We found one that he felt that we had nailed. And this is February 1980, and I'm not being insincerely modest when I tell you that I think Curly Putman and I both have written better songs than that. I think it's a good song, but I think this is one case where the performance by the artist and the production elevated this to just something just unbelievable. Because I thought the song was pretty good. I didn't think it was the greatest thing in the world. I remember we went over to Billy Sherrill's office to hear it. When he played that back, I mean, holy cow! Man, I knew it was something very, very special there.
He's going through their final breakup. They'd kind of gone up and down that road before.
This gives you another insight when we talk about, like, not only sometimes a song is meant to be made, right, where a person, the song writes itself, but also sometimes that a song isn't supposed to be sung by a certain person, right? That song is made for that particular person, right? Because they'll take the song and they will bring it to a different level. And that's what I'm getting from what he just said, right? He thought the song was decent, but then once he heard the song by the right person singing the song, he's just like, holy goodness, this is a hit. This is it. Comment below if you guys feel the same way that I feel, or if you guys feel something different. Let me know.
Their final breakup. They'd kind of gone up and down that road before, and she gets with another guy, and so I think it's safe to say you wrote a song about what he was experiencing and feeling, and it was the love of his life.
Somebody asked me one time, said, does that bother you? So many people think that the artist wrote the song, and I said, no, because if the artist is putting that much emotion into it that they associate it with, I think that's a compliment to the songwriters, And he was in a place in his life, I think, where it sounded like it's something that he would be extrapolating about himself and Tammy down the road.
And the public, we've got all the TMZ and the Showbiz Tonight and all that, but there were other magazines and elements of it then, and I think the public cared about what George was going through and was even more empathetic about the song, don't you?
Probably so. Yeah.
Do you remember where the idea came from? Do you remember because I know it sat around for a while and sometimes you don't, but do you remember anything about the day you and Curly walk in with this thing?
I remember that we were there's a possibility my second wife may have had some influence on me, because she was sort of, I don't know, I guess she was sort of at that time sort of the love of my life, and we were getting into some stormy waters there, and I don't know if I have no idea if that was it or not, but I do remember Curly and I were doing some dark humor things, like, like, doesn't he look natural? I said, well, should have seen him a week ago. We got all that out of the way. That was like in the summer, it was way back, summer of '77, I think it was. And then we got back together and finished it, as I say. We thought we finished it like in November '77. And Billy Sherrill, who I think is the genius of all geniuses as far as producers in that era, of course Owen Bradley was too. He preceded Billy by a few years. Billy feels that they went in there and cut that, and they went in and finished it later in 1980. But that couldn't be because we didn't write the recitation thing until a few days before he recorded it in 1980. So he would have had gone in the studio and said, okay, well, let's cut this whole long verse here, but leave it blank, because maybe Bobby and Curly will write a recitation here, you know.
Is it a blessing and a curse? Because I'm sure, especially outside of your peers and colleagues here on Music Row, and even there, it's probably hard for you to go anywhere that you don't have to talk about it, right? Is that a blessing, a curse, a little bit of both? Do you ever get tired of talking about that song?
No, not really. No. I was going to say outside of the music business, I mean, most people don't know who write the songs. I went to a website about He Stopped Loving Her Today, and you can scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll before you see mine or Curly's name. I mean, most people, they don't even think about who wrote the song. A lot of people say, boy, that George Jones, he sure got good songs. I think they either think the artist wrote them or they just kind of grabbed them out there. He stopped loving her.
Like, that is definitely so true. When you hear the song and you hear the artist sing and you hear the artist is so passionate, a lot of the times you're thinking that the artist wrote the song, right? Especially if the song happens and the artist is kind of going through the same thing that the song is talking about. And I know I've said that a lot of times on the channel, that it's, you know, that they're singing their heart, they're singing what's going on, and I said that they're singing the words that they're saying is how we feeling, right? And we don't really think about, you know, the songwriter. Really, we give all the praise to the artist and how they perform the song. But but it takes a lot. It definitely takes a lot. And if it is an artist that's singing the song, it's absolutely amazing. But I guess I'm learning through the learning portion of T.E.L.L. Joanne that, you know, when the writer does write the song, you know, they sell it off, and sometimes they're ghost writers and no one knows that it's them that sing the song. And sometimes, you know, their names are able to be published. But so far, the things that I've been seeing, the theme that I've been seeing is that when the writer writes the song, they themselves are writing past part of their own experience, either things that they have gone through or things that they are going through. So it is part of their own passion. And it just is that, you know, they are lucky enough that it's tied to an artist who can not only bring about the passion of the song, but also put what they're going through as well on the song. And then by the time we feel it, we're like, oh my God, they talking about what we're going through. So it's just a lot of different feelings and a lot of different emotions that goes through the song for us to get to where we are. And then we continue to add on our own feelings and our own reaction. And even within the reaction channel, right? As I'm saying this and I'm experiencing my emotions going through, your emotions go back. So it's just a whole lot of emotions that go through certain songs. And that is what makes it a great song. And this is also what makes it universal, because all of these emotions that we're going through, these are all universal emotions. They don't matter what your gender is, your race is, you know, your economic status. They don't matter any of those things. It's like, if you feel the song, it relates to you. It relates to you, period. And that's that. So that's pretty cool to see that theme continue to go on. All right, let's continue.
The place is breathable. Soon they'll carry him away. He stopped loving her today. You know, she came to see one last time.
And this is a perfect example, right? He wrote the song, and his singing is nothing like the song that I heard that George Jones sings, right? When I heard George sing the song, it just touched me in such a way. And it's so interesting because they talked about that he was going through certain things, and that the audience, the people at that time, they cared about his story. And I guess for them, the song meant so much because they really was like, oh my God, he's going through it, so he must have written a song. So for me, hearing the song, what decades later, and hearing the song and can feel that, and not knowing anything about him, that was my very first time reaction of him, and yet I'm sitting there crying like a baby. It just tells you again how a song and the right artist singing the song, and how they bring that song to the next level of emotions, and just makes it absolutely amazing. So I don't know, again, I don't know when the video is going to come out of my reaction of the song, but I did say for you guys to comment below and let me know what other songs that he sings, because I really want to get to know him some more. So but it also seems like I need to get to know the writer. I need to start looking at who writes certain songs, so I can be like, okay, let me figure out who the artist is, because so far two of the songs that he wrote, I'm just like, oh my god, completely different songs, but I absolutely love them. All right, guys, on that note, I will see you guys in the next reaction, and thank you so much for being with me on this journey. I truly appreciate y'all.